Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. A suspect is due to appear in court tomorrow, and that follows threats allegedly against President Cyril Ramaphosa, the mayor of Cape Town Geordin Hill-Lewis, and a prominent businesswoman. The suspect, 28 years old, was arrested by the Hawks in Germiston in Gauteng on Friday after a case was opened earlier this month. The Hawks say threats were made against the president and several others, and he faces charges of intimidation. And for more on this, we are now joined by Hawks head, Lieutenant General Godfrey Lebeya, and he joins us now via our video link. General, thank you so much for your time this evening here on SABC News. I mean, let's start off here. Quite a bizarre case that we are seeing, and this follows, of course, the reports that threats have been made against the president. I mean, what do we know so far about, this matter, and when did these threats start?
Good evening to you and your viewers. The report itself was made on the 12th of May this year. The investigation so far reveals that, in fact, some of the intimidation also happened last month against other individuals. We have indeed gathered information showing that indeed the individual has been making these threats, not only to the three individuals that are in South Africa, but there are also other two individuals, including the state president of another country, which we will not be mentioning at this stage. The individual has arrived in Cape Town and will be appearing tomorrow in Cape Town. So we will take it there. There is the possibility that maybe when he appears in court, the court might think of the possibility of Section 77 to 79 that at times deal with the mentality, the mental situation, status of an individual, because some of the messages that we get is that the individual is owning half of Cape Town. So it can't be possible. So that is what we are having at this stage. But in terms of the charges, the initial charges will include contravention of Cybercrime Act, intimidation, and possibly assault. The number of counts will depend on what we get after completing the investigation.
And General, how was this individual tracked down? And one would also ask, how was he even able to get a hold of all these contacts to go through and intimidate the president and these other individuals?
Obviously, the intimidation of other individuals come through one contact. He did not necessarily contact the rest of the individual. You pick the threats from the individual that he was directly communicating with. So the rest, it will just be a matter of time as to whether the message reached them before we alert them of such threats, or whether there was also direct link with them. But we believe that the threats is only through the complainant who depose of an affidavit.
And in general, why would he then be appearing at the Cape Town Magistrates Court if it seems as if, these alleged crimes took place throughout various locations?
Yes, the main recipient of the threat was in Cape Town, so that it also informed the jurisdiction where these things have happened.
And maybe if you can also take us through some of the other charges that you say may be leveled against this individual.
Yes, whenever you commit some of these crimes like threatening others, you are also, and you do that through a mobile phone, you also commit the contravention of the Cybercrime Act. The ordinary crimes that we knew of in the past, if you do those crimes, if you commit those crimes, using either computer or cell phone, you will also find that you are actually contravening the Cyber Crimes Act. This statutory matters include an attempt, conspiracy, aiding, abetting, inducing, intimidation, instructing. So it's a number of offenses. Even fraud that we knew of, you can commit statutory fraud in the line of contravention of the Cyber Crimes Act. Forgery and uttering, you can also commit a new type of crime in terms of this law. So we will also be looking at that. So as an example, you shall see that by Friday, when we were arresting him, the other one was being convicted of 254 counts of contravention of Cyber Crimes Act. This is the individual that shall have got the photographs of the state president, the minister, and the national commissioner, and impose them on other photos that are not necessarily theirs. And in that regard, he has been sentenced, obviously 5 years plus 3 years, but because they run concurrently, he will only serve 5 years imprisonment.
And before I let you go, General, one will also then ask, you mentioned something about, the suspect's mental state. Are psychologists on standby to do some sort of analysis to try and gather if his mental state was in the right frame of mind?
Once the court is of the opinion that the mental status of the individual need to be checked, orders shall be provided, and those logistics will be made available. So it's only a matter that it can't be ourselves who conclude that we doubt the mental status of the individual. But some of the utterances suggest that maybe it might be something that need to be looked at.
Lieutenant General, thank you so much for your time. That's Lieutenant General Godfrey Lebeya, who is the Hawks head, just giving us more information in terms of what we can expect when that 28-year-old suspect appears tomorrow at the Cape Town Magistrates Court.